Wednesday, it's finally here again. Gather round, bring your stories and your friends. We're digging deep into gold and the relics found. Metal detectors buzzing through this lively town. Pour a drink, let the laughter flow. Tonight we strike gold, let the good times grow. It's Gold Fever Radio time. Come gather round with laughter and tales. Time joy knows no bounds. Talk about treasures, dig deep in the night. At Gold Fever Radio, everything feels right.
Hey, well, welcome everybody. It is Wednesday once again. It is, what is it, March 26th.
That is correct.
2025.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, you know who stopped by?
Who?
I got a message from Juan.
Juan?
Do you remember who Juan was?
I do.
Hello, all my good friends. Juan Valdez here, Outdoor Guru. I'm here today with another very, very important tip for you. You know, I get so many letters from everybody. I don't know, I can't read them all. Let's just take one here. This is from Johnny Trujillo, I think. Ooh, this good smoke. I gotta remember who sent me this. Whew, good stuff. Dear Juan Valdez, Outdoor Guru. Yes, that's me, Outdoor Guru. I would like to know why the fish seem to bite more on Sundays. You know, that's a very, very good question. Let me think about this for a minute. Ooh, that's good smoke. All right, I know why I got the answer. You see, everybody goes fishing on Saturdays and Fridays and during the weekdays because they think nobody's out there, so they go there. And they feed the fish, they feed the fish, they feed the fish. The fish don't get hungry anymore. But on Sundays, nobody goes because they all go to church. So when you go fishing on Sundays, they're hungry and they bite. That's why fish are better to go fishing on Sundays. Thanks for the letter, Johnny. Ooh, that good smoke. Oh, I think I got time for one more letter here. Let me just dig in the mailbox. I think I got time for one more letter. Let's find me one more letter here. Let's see here. I get so many dang letters here. I can't read them all. Dang, I get so many dang letters here. Let's pull one out there. Let's take this. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry about that. Get out of my way. All right, let's see. This is from Janon. Let's see what Janon has to say. I think I've heard this one before. This one says, "Hello, Juan. Hope you're having a great day." Thank you, Janon, I am. Can you tell me why the gold cube works so well? Phew, that's a very good question there. You're talking about a piece of prospecting equipment. Now, that's right up Juan's alley, because Juan knows all about gold prospecting. Juan likes gold. Anyways, your longtime listener, Janon. Well, Janon, I'm going to tell you why the gold cube works so well. You know, my good friend, I call him Mr. Cube. You guys call him something else, but I call him Mr. Cube. You know what? I should give him a call and have him come and explain it to you himself why the gold cube works so well. I'm going to do that right now. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for listening, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Whoa, there's good smoke. So until our paths cross again, you guys all take care, and I'll see you later. I'm Juan Valdez, Outdoor Guru, saying so long.
Okay, so everybody's saying that you're reverbing or you have your feedback.
Well, see, that's what I'm hearing. Is I'm getting a
But
double,
I don't hear that.
But I am. I'm getting a I am. I hear myself in the headphones, and that's what I try to get rid of. So everybody else is saying they hear me.
I
That's
hear
what they're
you
doing.
fine though.
The microphone isn't, but I see, I really don't want to play with a lot of stuff because if I play with a lot of stuff, I could lose something, you know?
Yeah, Craig Carter
And
says
then we
echo,
go
echo,
silent.
echo. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
an echoing.
Now you hear me echoing?
I don't, but they do.
Is that what they're saying? I'm echoing? Let's see who's
Yes.
all in here. Hello, Paul, Janam, hello. Mark Nye, hello. Josh Cooper, hello. Julian Berry, hello. Rocky Mountain Brad, hello. Mark, hello.
Can't be coming from my mic.
Action Jackson. Desert Prospector, Roland, hello. Daryl, hello. Dennis, hello. RH, hello. Oops. And did I get a Hillbilly Relic? Anyways, all right, we got a guest tonight. I had to get him hold of him on the phone there. Let me bring him in. There's Mr. Mike Pung himself right there, Mr. Q.
Hey, good to see you guys.
Hi, Mike.
Yeah, I can hear an echo on me. I can hear an echo on Jack, but Lisa is nice and clean.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know why I'm echoing for.
I think it's all your fault.
I know it's my fault. It's always my fault.
It's always his fault, exactly.
Yeah, that's the curse of being left in charge.
See, I turned my. Yeah. So where do you think that's coming from? The echo? You think the echo is coming from my mic or from my headphones?
Well, does your headphones also have a mic on the cord?
No.
Okay.
I didn't think so. It's never did that before.
Where's those little white things that you usually wear?
I hate those things. Should I try them?
Yeah, give them a shot.
But I might lose all the audio.
Now that he's playing with that, let's just talk about Jack.
Yeah, let's talk about him. Good idea.
Now I don't hear nothing. So let me go into my settings, my audio.
See, I don't hear Mike. I don't hear you echoing either. But I don't hear
Okay.
Jack echoing.
Well, I can hear myself echoing, and I can hear Jack echoing, but Lisa, you're not echoing.
It's weird.
And I've got a set of earbuds in corded, so there's nothing else around. There's no other speakers or anything on my side.
I can hear now, but I can't hear you guys now. Can you guys hear me?
You can't hear us.
You can't
I
hear
can
me?
hear you.
I can hear you, Jack.
See, I knew that would happen, huh? Settings, cameras, my audio. So my microphone's working and my speaker and microphone's all working now.
Okay, we still have.
But now I don't hear you guys.
That's.
Yeah.
It can't
Yeah,
be
we-
my mic. It can't be me. I'm not anywhere near him. Can't be me.
No, so mine all works now. That's what the problem that I had before is because now I can't hear you guys.
Oh, that's so
Okay,
weird.
well, it's because we shut up.
Can anybody hear
Yeah,
anybody?
that too.
Can you guys hear everybody, just not each other?
I can hear everybody.
Yeah, we hear everybody.
Mike and Lisa, see if it goes away. Mark says, hey, cool. Howdy, neighbor. Jennifer Bond. Can you guys hear everybody? His microphone is picking up his speaker. Lisa's fine, no issues. Cut Lisa's feed for a second.
Hey.
Okay, Lisa's mic is off. So you guys can all hear everybody, but I can't hear everybody.
Okay,
So
what about me? Can you hear me?
that's amazing.
Okay, I still have an echo on me.
Huh. So, what do we do now here? I've got. Testing, testing. Come here, come here, come here. Still an echo?
Still an
See,
echo.
there's still an echo, so I don't know which way to go. Should I go with these or should I not go with these? I can't hear you
No,
guys.
there is no
You guys
change.
can't hear me either, huh?
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, well, you can hear me, but I can't hear you guys.
We'll
So
go back.
we'll just do a silent show.
Go back to your headphones.
We'll do a silent show. I'm going to go back.
Okay, can you hear us now?
Okay.
Can you hear us, Jack?
Those work. You can go back to the headphones. That was not the issue. Okay. Let's see. Settings. Audio.
Am I still muted?
Okay, so it's saying that I'm
I can
working.
hear you,
My
Lisa.
headphones are working.
You can hear me?
Yes.
My headphones are working. And my mic is working. My headphones are working and my mic are working. So it tells me everything on my end is working, no matter what I use. I hear this and I hear that. But some reason.
You don't hear us?
I don't hear you guys. How come I can't hear you guys?
Well, Mike, we can just put me and you.
You guys are all.
Yeah.
Mute Lisa again and see if the echo goes away. Okay, so Lisa's muted. So
Okay,
can you guys hear me though? You hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
But we can't hear each other.
Can you hear?
Only one.
Lisa,
with
can
no
you hear me?
reverb.
Okay, yeah. Lisa can hear me, and I can't hear the
what to do.
reverb.
I mean, still an echo. I don't know why there's an echo for. What if I just don't use anything? If I can just go plain speakers. Let's see what happens.
There's still an echo.
Let's see about it. Just go plain speakers.
Everybody says the echo goes
Plain
away when you
speakers.
mute
Let me
me.
get back
How
in
about if I'm
settings,
not
go
in it?
back in my
How about
audio.
just you guys talk,
Not use
leave me out of
anything.
it, and so
Just
you
go
don't have
plain
the
old
echo?
speakers.
Well, Lisa, when you were muted, I still heard an echo from me.
Now I hear you guys. Okay, I heard you. Okay, I hear you guys now,
Okay.
but there's an echo.
Yeah, it's about a 2-second delay for me on the echo.
Your mic is picking up your speakers, Jack. Mute your speakers. But if I mute my speakers, then I can't hear them. Okay, so my speakers
Okay.
are muted.
Can you hear us?
I do.
Okay.
Well, there's a
Well,
problem. Oh, now
What
my.
about you, Mike?
okay, testing 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so
Still an echo. I can hear.
hello. Yeah, there's an echo. Was it like before Mike joined? Yes. I blame Jack. I blame Jack for most things. Hey, you know what? It's all my fault. All right. Just a bond.
I'm telling you, I don't think Joe Rogan has this problem on his podcast. I don't know. I'm just
But see,
guessing.
he's got professional audio people to help him out.
Oh, you mean, and you're not?
No,
Oh,
I'm far from professional.
yeah, okay.
So yeah, I'm just going to turn my speaker down. Okay. Can I hear you guys still? Anyways.
Okay, I can still hear the echo with me though. So your speaker down doesn't change anything.
My speakers are off now.
So you can't hear me?
I hear you. Oh, I'm muted. My speakers are muted. So it don't matter if I turn them off or not. Up or down.
No.
they're muted. But I still hear you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. How y'all doing, everybody?
Oh, we're all
How
good
you doing,
now?
Mike?
Hey, doing great.
Oh, no, yeah, there's the
There's
echo.
more of you to be great.
Yeah.
So it looks like you're in a vehicle. Are you traveling somewhere?
Yeah, we had to go rescue somebody in Texas and take them to Colorado, and we're on our way back home right now.
You had to go rescue somebody, huh?
Yeah, in fact, we're actually see this lake.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah, so we pulled over, so we're not being a hazard to other drivers.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I kind of want to live.
So last week I asked everybody, who do you guys want for guest on the show? And of course they want Mike Fung guest on the show. So ta-da.
Ta-da!
Ron Quest. Who would ever think goat fever would ever cause such trouble? I'm telling you. Hey, I got a question for you, Mike. Do you think these guys will ever be back?
I kind of seen what this was that ICMJ.
Yeah.
I hope so. I know they're looking for another person to take over that magazine, but I'm kind of doubting that it'll come back.
That's too bad. Why don't you take it over?
You're breaking up.
You know, I would take it over. I mean, I counted there's 30 ads. You know, I mean, people were paying for them ads, or most people anyway. So
yeah, I know I was. Yeah, it's a shame.
Why don't we go in on it together? Tell them we'll do it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what the price tag will be, but they're not just going to let us take it over.
Really, I think they should just let us take it over.
Yeah, we'll get you on it, and we'll get. There's a place for 10 people, so we got to fill all 10 slots.
Okay. But rather than just let it go to waste, somebody might as well just take it over and do it, you know?
Yeah, or just start our own magazine and call it something else.
We'll call it the AMCJ. Or the AAOCJ, the Arizona, Oklahoma.
Yeah, right. Called Gold Diggers Anonymous.
Yeah, there we go. So, anyways, the Gold Cube. What's new in the Gold Cube business?
We're just moving along and really enjoying the price of gold going up.
Oh, I know.
There's a lot of brand new people coming in.
I know they're all excited, but they're saying, "What's gold?" I think I heard of gold once upon a time. I think I want to get some. Gold kind of went back down a little bit. $3,022 right now.
What would really be cool is if it was $3,101 or $10, because that way 1 gram would be exactly $100.
Yeah, that's still pretty good.
Yeah, it's easy math.
Well, I used to remember years ago when gold was down around $480. We did it by grains because 480 grains to the ounce. So we did everything by grains. Then once it got way up there, then we had to go to the grams.
Yeah, then there's a lot of people doing the penny weights and all that good stuff.
Yeah, pretty soon we'll be doing it by the ounces.
Yeah, well, instead of troy ounces, we'll do it by his brother. His name is Henry.
Henry ounce?
A Henry ounce, that's right. It goes by pounds.
Pounds. Well, the pounds. Those pounds. Somebody wanted to come out and go find some gold. I told them, well, Mike found some good gold up on the hill up there. So go up on the hill. So they're going to bring some long-range detectors and some deep detectors and go up there on the hill and see if they can find that deep vein up there.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I found a really nice specimen. It was about the size of like a black cherry. Pretty nice big piece of quartz with a gold seam running straight through it up there in the Meadview area.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I haven't wet weighted and dry weighted it to see how much gold's actually in there, but it's got to be at least a couple grams in there.
Well, I heard somebody found a 3 ouncer or something up there, 5 ouncer or something.
I found one about 8 pounds. That's how much my detector weighs.
Yeah. No, somebody said they found somebody found. I think it was either 3 ounce or 5 ounce. I don't remember. I heard they sold.
There's been some big gold found up there, in the past years. In fact, there was one that was like 8 pounds, and they got hit by a scraper blade and cut it in half.
Wow. No, this one was just found within the last few couple months or so. And
I haven't heard about it.
Heard they sold it for 15 grand, but it was found over by the King Tut. I've heard a couple different stories about it actually.
Okay, yeah, I did hear about that. Like Reese or Reed or somebody like that.
Yeah, the asshole guy.
Yeah, beep.
Yeah.
Well, he's trained a lot of people to be a little better in the way they detect, but he just has some questionable ethics.
Yeah, he's trained. Turn your speaker down, Jack. My speakers are off, man. My speaker's muted.
Yeah, and I don't have a speaker on. I got just my earbuds. I'm corded.
Yeah. I know there's an echo. I don't know what happened. Why all of a sudden? But yeah,
it's hard to say.
My speaker is muted, so I know it's not my speaker, and my camera might have a speaker on it.
Let's blame it on StreamYard.
You know, that's a great idea. I don't know why it's doing it.
Yeah.
Jennifer said that's when my Bessie went. Yeah, Mike got it. Mike took it.
Is that 3 ounce?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish. Hi, Jennifer.
Herb says Mike. Let's see. Mike and speaker too close to each other. I don't have nothing on.
I got my speakers inside my ears. That's pretty close.
Yeah, everything's off on me, so I know it's not. It worked fine earlier, and then all of a sudden this echo just came on. I don't know what happened, but it just decided to echo. So,
I don't hear the echo.
And just in case I forget what I say, I can wait 2 seconds and I'll remind myself.
You'll hear it again.
Hey, we're talking about. Remember years ago we were talking about a bucket sluice, a smaller cube.
yeah,
I think we're going to go forward with that.
a smaller one to sit on a bucket.
It'll sit inside of a bucket.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so it's the whole footprint's going to be like 6 by 6. And we just have to figure out if we're going to put it in a box or if we're going to make it stackable or what.
Yeah, I'd make them still stackable, so people would still do 26 of them or just 3 of them. Or
Yeah, and what if they're selling if they stack it like 26 or 90 of them, we'll sell step ladders too. Yeah. There's a lot of people wanting to get out there, and a smaller one like that would be easy to create a like a hand operated pump to get enough water to do the job. So I think just for the regulations that keep you from having a battery pump or gasoline pump or all the rules and regulations, this will make it to where we can get a lot more places. It'll make it a lot more hikeable. So it'll be yeah. What's that?
that'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we'd have to sell what are those Hello Kitty backpacks to put them in.
Somebody said it's your mic, Lee. That makes sense because it didn't work like this before. I'm going to mute Lisa and see what happens here. Mute Lisa's mic. Okay.
Uh-oh, Lisa's muted.
See, now see the echo went away. So it is Lisa.
Okay, so you can still hear me just fine?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, hi, Lisa. How do you like me now?
So we're getting feedback from your system, Lisa.
No, Jack, I'm still getting echo from you, and I'm still hearing an echo from me.
Okay, so I just shut Lisa's mic off. How's
okay,
it now?
I'm not getting an echo from me, and I'm not getting an echo from you.
I don't. That's why I say everything's fine now. So now I'm turning Lisa's mic back on, and the echo's back. So yeah, see, Lisa's been trying to screw with her laptop, and she says I finally got the sound to work, but it's coming through. You got to turn your sound down, Lisa. So it is on your right. It's Lisa.
Hey, Lisa, on your computer, why don't you see if the program is opened twice?
It's not. Well, let me get rid of that.
Or down below, there's that speaker button. You got to turn your speaker down. Oh, now she's gone. Okay. Well,
fix that problem.
Maybe she'll come back on her phone and get rid of that computer. That's been causing
there you
problems.
go.
All right, we got it solved. Greg says Josh Ranke, November 19th. As many of you know, the ICMJ has gone bankrupt. I have been waiting to find a replacement before making an announcement. As of now, no such luck. Oh, well, there you go, I guess then.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking that's pretty much the way it was going to go. Yeah, the cost of printing, everybody's feeling that. Hopefully, those types of costs in magazines and stuff are going to come down. But with everything going digital, there's a lot of the printing companies going out of business, and if they're going out of business, it takes away a lot of the options. So the ones that are there, they're overbooked with stuff, and they're trying to slow the customers down by raising the price.
Yeah. No, you still got the echoes back now, Lisa. So, and that's too bad because I really thought that was one of the better magazines on gold prospecting out there.
Yeah, it got away from just the like the I'm sidetracking myself with the echo.
Okay, I took the echo
it's like
away.
I can't. Okay. Yeah, it took like the weekend prospector.
Out of it and enjoy the evening.
Hey, just go back to your cell phone, Lisa. Go back, put your phone on.
Okay, goodbye.
Okay, goodbye.
Let's say so like the small scale weekend prospector, and then there's the big gap between the weekend prospector and then into someone that's actually putting a mine together with a plan of operation and all that other stuff. I mean, the ICMJ was the gap between the big commercial miner. The small scale miner is where the ICMJ was, and then you've got the little guy like in the GPAA magazine. So there's a need for a magazine like that. It's just a shame that all the costs and everything were way up there and really screwing things up.
It is.
There's Lisa.
Yeah, now she knows. See, now you don't have your echo. Okay.
No.
So we found the culprit.
Well, good.
And everybody thought it was me.
It is you. It's always you.
Well, yeah, Jack, you chose her. It's your fault.
There you go. I agree.
I agree with you. There is definitely a need for the magazine. I mean, as far as the advertising and getting word out there of different things and mass communication and And people like digital stuff like that, but other people like to touch, feel, hold, look.
Yeah, and when
Well,
you're sitting in the bathroom with nothing to read, you can't take your computer in there.
No, well, you can, but it's a little cumbersome. But
Yeah.
if you should one time say, if you read magazine while sitting on toilet bowl, never lick fingers when turning pages.
Yeah. That's a pretty crappy saying.
Isn't it? Yeah. But the good thing, if you ever run out of paper, you got it made.
There you go. That's right. Just stay away from the shiny pages.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because you get the imprint all right for sure.
Yeah.
That's what they call
Hey,
it.
we had a pretty cool thing happen in Colorado. When we got back, I brought a metal detector up to our son up there in Black Forest, and I was teaching him how to use it, and he was going to use it for detecting nails when he was cutting firewood. But we found a bunch of stuff in his yard, and then we had this huge signal, and we started digging down. We got down about 1.5 feet, and then the shovel broke through into a big void.
Wow.
It's like there shouldn't be anything there. It was a 55-gallon drum that had been buried years ago. And now we got to try to figure out what it is. And it had a lid on it. And there was a bracelet in there that said Hoffa. So maybe we found the guy. But yeah, I don't know if it used to be a privy there, or if they used it as a drainage tank for to like a drain field. I have no idea what that barrel would be there, but he's gonna dig it out, get it out of there, because now it's just a big hole in the ground people can trip on. But this is like one of those stories to be continued. But it was kind of cool finding a 55-gallon drum buried in your front yard.
That was my guess. I was going to say it's probably a privy thing for the olden days. That's what they used a lot.
Yeah, there used to be it's a log cabin, and it used to be like a dance studio and a firing range, and so I mean they had to have some kind of outdoor facilities or something. It's kind of funny back in the day. You used to smoke inside the house and used to go outside to go to the bathroom, and now it's completely switched. You go outside to smoke and piss in the house.
Hey, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
So explain for all those that I'm sure everybody has a gold cube by now. Why don't you explain why the gold cube works? Why do people like the gold cube so much for cleaning up concentrates or stuff like that? What's the concept behind the cube and how it became about and all of that?
Well, they say necessity is a mother. A mother of all inventions. Basically what happened was we were getting into some really fine gold on the shores of Lake Superior, and they wouldn't break through the water. They would stay up there floating. The black sands were super heavy. Just about every machine that was on the market was having a really, really hard time catching even a percentage that went into like 10%, 15%. Usually those are acceptable losses, but that was basically all we were able to catch. And I said, we got to solve this problem because there's a lot of gold here. So I knew I had to change things up. I had to get away from the eddy behind the riffle, and I also had to make it to where things wouldn't float away. So the G-force separator helped align the gold and put it underwater. So once you get gold underwater, it quits acting like a boat and starts acting like an anchor. So that's what we wanted to do, because gold can't float. It can boat, but it can't float. So it can stay on top of the water. So if you displace enough of the surface tension, that gold will stay on top, just like a boat. But like a battleship, it's big and heavy. It weighs tons and tons and tons, but it stays on top of the water because of displacement. Gold does the same thing. But once you get that battleship underwater, it's not coming back up. That's the Titanic. So that's what we had to do. We had to try to get that gold underwater. And you'll see a lot of the like dredges and some of the bigger wash plants and the sluice boxes, they'll put like a mud flap on, this kind of like all the water's running underneath the mud flap. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to knock that gold away from the surface and get it underwater. Well, we gave that gold no choice whatsoever except to be underwater. So that was where the G4 separator that came in. And then we also realized with the G4 separator that all that gold will just try to go as deep as it can in the bottom of the trough. So when it was going in the bottom of the trough and sliding up the exit side, the exit side of the G4 separator, all the gold was together. So the gold was together coming out of the G4 separator. It would just kind of right over the edge, and then all the rest of the material, it would be like stacked by specific gravity, and that's called columning. So there'd be a column of dirt coming out of the gold cube G4 separator, and it would rise the highest. So your garbage and your sand and everything would rise the highest, and the gold would come right up into the mat and get captured immediately. So we were creating a huge separation between the good stuff and the garbage that we wanted to get rid of. So we just put that into a sluice first, and then we realized, I want more power in the G4 separator, and the only way to do that is to drop it in from higher. So if you drop that in from higher, it's like the difference between a carburetor that's naturally aspirated and a blower. Putting a blower or supercharger on there. If you can get it to push really hard, you get more of an effect of the gravity of each of the particulates in there. So the gold specific gravity being, 19, sometimes if it's like fairly diluted gold, it can go as low as 16. It's got a lot of silver and stuff in it, but it's going to be the heaviest thing in your box. So once you've got that gold shooting down inside there, and then shooting back up even harder than just dropping it in there and just accidentally letting it flow through, you get more of a separation, more result, more on purpose capture of the gold. So we had to drop it in from the top. So when you drop it in from the top, the only way to get that dropping from higher is you got to come across from the other side, and then the next one comes across from the other side. So it made itself into a zigzag sluice because of the need to drop it from a higher location into the G4 separator. So the zigzag was also created out of necessity, and that really it created a really nice a feature, because now instead of being 6 feet long or 5 feet long, it's just stacked up, and it's real handy. It's also makes it so you don't have to bend over so far when you feed it. That's good for us old farts.
Well, okay, solve this question. This is a question
Yeah.
that I know people talk about, and I've got my theory behind it. Other people have their theories. I disagree with other people's theory. I know your theory. Why do people say run the material wet for?
Well, here's the deal. If you run it wet, then it's already dissolved, and if there was any clumps that are holding more than one little particulate of something, whether it be sand or black sand or gold, and say there's like 40 pieces in this little clump that went through your classifier, and you put it into the gold cube, and it doesn't have a chance to dissolve into its own individual pieces, the gold's not going to have a chance to act like gold, and that clump could create an opportunity to lose that gold. It'll just keep going because that clump's too light. Okay, so it'll be like that columning. It's gonna raise higher and it's gonna be gotten rid of. All right. So the other thing that it'll do is, even though it's dry and even though it's being put underwater, sometimes you'll notice that some of your material will create little air bubbles, and those air bubbles, that surface tension of that air bubble is going to also create something that can keep rolling. Okay, so you can run it dry when you're doing testing and stuff, but when you got your good stuff, you got the stuff that the gold is in. If you're working on concentrates, why not get it wet? Get it wet so it works better and it gives the clumps a chance to dissolve. And then those dissolved clumps, the one piece of gold that's in that 40-piece clump is going to act like gold when it gets into the cube. And then you'll be able to take it home rather than it being left in your tailings. So clumping is the biggest deal about the dries. If you're just testing and you're trying to see, like when you're testing or prospecting and doing a five-gallon bucket test or something like that, you're trying to answer two questions. Number one, is there any gold here? Number two, is it any better than the last place I just checked? So if you're missing some gold when you're doing prospecting, it's okay because you're just trying to find the best place to set up your equipment. But when you've got concentrates, go ahead and wet it. It's going to get wet anyway. So you might as well wet it and make sure that it has a chance to dissolve the clumps so you don't accidentally transfer gold out the bottom.
Okay, so now I understand your theory, but so let's just say, like, if you're dry washers don't have the chance to break up those little dirt clogs and stuff like that than you will if you're running it wet. Okay, so that theory I understand. But let's say now you've got the gold cube, you've got your slick plate up on top. If I were to take a spoon of dry dirt and evenly just kind of disperse it over, it's going to go on there, widely dispersed, go on down, and work like gold. If I take some wet, I can't do that. It's just going to drop. And once I drop that clump down, now I've broken that tension that's going to push any more gold out of the way, like on a sluice box or something, because I've created that break or that eddy or break zone that pushes it away, and I can't sprinkle it now because it's all wet and just clumps.
Okay, so instead of feeding it by plopping it on there, like just fanning it back and forth when it's dry, it's pretty easy, and you'll get 99% of your gold. Okay, but someone's going to check your tailings and find a piece and saying that you don't know what you're doing. And but if you've got your material wet, what I do is let's see, here we go. Everything looks backwards. Okay, if I've got my water coming down that slick plate, instead of just plopping everything on there and creating a pile, what I do is I turn my scoop and point it upstream so I can just that same fanning that you had back and forth. You can use that same fanning action with the scoop touching the water and let the water dissolve that material out of the scoop, and then it's completely spread out and fine and single layered and everything. So don't plop it, just back and forth a little bit, and it'll give you the same type of fanning action as when it's dry.
Okay, on the cube I can understand that because you've got 12 inches or 14 whatever of a slick plate there. But if you've got a sluice box, your riffle is right there, and if you stick that scoop in there, you've done broken that. That's going to chase that, whatever that riffle is held is gone now to the next riffle because you stuck your scoop. Like you don't stick your finger in a sluice box type thing, because, well, the same thing if you're trying to stick your scoop in there. I mean, I understand the theory. People say, well, take your spoon and just fan it. I mean, I might as well just pan it if it's going to take me that long to run it. I want to run the dirt.
Yeah, like a full-size scoop. A full-size scoop, I mean, there's a lot of people that will take the slick plate of their machine, whether it's a sluice box or cube or whatever, and they put a mat on the slick plate. Well, you've gotten rid of all the opportunity to feed it like you're supposed to, and yes, you're going to interfere with the stuff in that mat. So don't think of it as where you're going to catch your gold. Think of it as where you're feeding it, and it's also an indicator to let you know that you're still in the gold. Because all of that gold that's in there is going to get knocked loose because you're going to be feeding right over top of it, and you'll end up catching it in the sluice box. So if you don't have a slick plate, then you're going to have the trouble of how to feed it. And like if you're in a sluice box and you try to feed it dry, most of that stuff is going to stay on the surface, and you're going to lose it. So you got to get that stuff underwater. And one of the easiest ways to get it underwater is keep your spoon moving back and forth as you're feeding it. Don't stop in one spot and create a pile. But keep it moving, and you don't have to be slow about it. As fast as that water can dissolve that out of your scoop, 2 seconds and you've got a scoop is gone. So you're not feeding it with a breakfast spoon. But the yeah, yeah, feeding it with a breakfast spoon. But so the most important part of a sluice box's slick plate is to break up, create laminar flow, and get the light stuff moved ahead of the heavy stuff, and then the heavy stuff has a chance to get captured. Okay, and when you take the slick plate away, you're losing a lot of the effectiveness of the actual sluice itself. So if there's a slick plate in there, don't cover it up with a mat thinking you're going to get more gold. All you're going to do is create a different situation, and your sluice box will capture just as much gold as it always has, except it's going to frustrate you with that mat being in the beginning.
Well, I do two things. I mean, one, I feed it dry, and people post all the time. They'll say, you're supposed to wet it. Okay, well, hey, you like to wet it? Go ahead and wet it. I like to run it dry. There's one thing I do, but I know there's always that controversy. And the other thing, like say the big Keen high banker, for instance, you got your up above there, you got your, just regular plastic. And then they got the metal bars running down there that, classify, basically put all your rocks out. Underneath that, I have put miner's moss underneath that.
Yes.
You're saying, so I got rid of that slick plate, but yet as I'm testing, most of my gold is right there on top, and I don't have to tear everything apart because I'm capturing it right there in the beginning.
Yes, and now on a high banker, that's another animal, because now what happens when you drop something from above? You're not floating it; you're blasting through surface tension. Okay, so if it's heavy, it's gonna hit hard, and then it's gonna get stuck in that miner's moss. Okay, so you've already loosened things up with the spray bars and the grizzly and sized everything, and then when it drops directly onto the miner's moss, and maybe you've got some expanded metal over it or whatever, you've created a situation that you've already disturbed the surface, and now the gold can't get caught on the surface, so it gets stuck in the mat instead. So it's accomplishing the same thing with drop force rather than settling force on a slick plate of a regular lateral sluice box. All right, so yeah, that's the difference between high banker and a sluice box, is you've got that extra action going on. So dry in there, you can get away with it because you're utilizing the gravity and the spraying of pre-wetting it before it gets down to your miner's moss.
Well, I understand the slick plate. Let's just say, for instance, like the thing in Alaska up in AKAU, that big machine they have
that's a monster slick plate.
Right, it has that big slick plate. So as you're putting the material there, and it breaks everything apart and goes on down, I can understand that purpose of having that plate there.
Right.
Because you're not just going to sit there and, you're doing the same thing. You're putting your dirt up above there, but it's got enough room to separate everything, and you're running it dry, but there's enough room to break that all apart before it gets down to your riffles. So
you're blasting it apart.
Yeah. So I'm doing the same thing, saying a cube by just sprinkling it in. I'm not throwing it in. I'm just kind of,
Yeah, on the cube, one of the things you can get away with it on the cube is you got the slick plate, you got the G-force separator that puts everything underwater, so it forces it to go underwater. And if it's still a clump and it's getting beat on the way down your first tray, then the next one goes through another G-force separator, and then maybe it's broken apart by then. So you probably won't miss any gold. It'll probably just be farther down in your sluice box or down in the gold cube than you're used to. If it's wet, you'll find more of your gold higher up. If it's dry, you may find more farther down the system than what you would have expected.
Okay, but see, I've even got the same feedback when I'm running the trommel on top of the cube, and I'm just sprinkling in dry dirt, and people will say, you're supposed to wet that first. What's and all that for, that?
Yeah, the trommel's doing all the wetting for you. So you're fine. It's doing the wetting. It's beating it up. It's breaking up clumps. The trommel's doing its job. And when it enters the gold cube, It's already wet. It's already beat apart. It's ready to get the gold pulled out of it. So you could put a dry dirt clod in the trommel and it'll go into the cube just right.
So what you need to be doing is working on some type of dry system instead of a wet system for like a dry cube.
A dry cube?
To vibrate or shake to make that gold go down, the same principle.
I've actually got 193 inventions. And I've already designed out a dry washer that actually multi-sizes and grinds the dirt down to bust up all the clumping, and it uses air as well as vibration to process the dirt that comes out of there. Okay, that's the good news. The bad news is you'd probably have to pay $2,000 a piece for one of these boxes.
Now, what? No, I'm envisioning, say the cube. Underneath the cube, you've got them little vibrators, and like the little square vibrators they use on one of them other type of cleanup solutions. It's all in a little little container,
right.
And you're putting it on there. It's vibrating, going over the mat, so all the heavies are going to fall out, get stuck in the mat. It falls into what you're calling that G separator. And the heavies are going to work its way down through there, and the lighters are just going to keep coming back out, and then it's going to go down to the next one. But you're doing it all with vibration.
I've tried that, and it's a roadblock. It's great. It's great for the first cup, and then it's full.
Well, I tried something like that years and years ago. If you remember, right?
Yeah.
I was trying something similar to that. Remember, I put the gold cube down below and I had the thing up on top, and I was running it. You called me and said, "Jack, what are you trying to prove?"
Yeah, if you don't have throughput on any machine, if you don't give it the ability to process the material and work through the material, then it's just like a pan. You fill it up, you empty it. You fill it up, you empty it. You can't. You got to have the ability to process through material, or else it's not going to be very useful to you. And that was the issue that we had with trying to use vibrations with a G4 separator. It just clogs up, and you're done. There is I've got a device out there that absolutely captures 100% of the gold. It's a bucket.
Yeah, and
just don't empty it.
Yeah,
don't empty it. All your gold is right there, 100%.
Yeah. I want to see who snuck in here. Mike B, Stephen Peasley heading back here. All right. Timothy Pinkerton, Jerry Prince, Kimberly. I got another question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the other question is, famous people say, I understand the theory in gold panning and all of that, so I guess it would apply to anything. Classification, to have all your material the same size before you run it.
Yeah, I call that the golden rule. The golden rule is if everything's the same size, gold rules. All right. So if you want to win the battle, just picture trying to get after a ping pong ball in a pile of bowling balls. It's like the bowling balls are going to get in your way. You're not going to be able to find that darn ping pong ball until you get all the big stuff out of the way. So classification, when I tell people when they're classifying, when they're doing a cleanup, is make sure that you're not classifying any more than 2 times the classification number. Let's say, the gold cube uses an 8 mesh. All right. So if you've got everything that's coming out of the gold cube, 8 times 2 is 16. So then you use a 16 mesh, and then 16 times 2 is 32, but I've got a 30 mesh. So no more than times 2. And what that's going to do for you is everything in that batch, everything between, 8 and 16 or 16 and 30, everything between in that batch the smallest piece of gold is still going to be able to outweigh your largest piece of garbage. So the water, the water, or the pressure of your water, the force of the water that you're going to use to try to clean your gold up, you're not going to have to be so strong with it to get the big bowling balls out of the way that that you lose your ping pong ball. Okay, so you're not going to be able to, like, you got a big rock in there. That rock's going to be lighter than the gold. So a little bit of water pressure on that's going to make that rock move, and the gold is going to be saved and stay put where it belongs, so you can get it cleaned up and picked up with a snuffer. So classification is huge when it comes to cleaning up your gold, and it's also huge in an area like when you're out in an area and you've got. Let's say you've done all your test panning, you've gone out prospecting, and you've test panned, and you know that the size of the gold that you're getting is like 80% of it is going to be like 20 mesh or 30 mesh. So, kind of small, not super small, but there's some smaller stuff in there. And you're not just going to take and put shovel loads of rocks and stuff in your sluice box, because they're going to create really bad water areas that could dig gold out, and it's just going to get in your way. So classifying before you go into the sluice box is going to give your sluice box the greatest benefit of not having to work so hard to get rid of the rocks that it creates so much pressure to start digging out your gold. So understanding the size of your gold is also important while you're out there getting it, as well as when you get it home and you got to clean out your concentrates. Making separate batches of all of that material of the classification size is going to make it easy for whatever machine that you're going to use to clean it up, like a blue bowl, a spiral wheel, a miller table, a gold pan, anything that you're going to use to clean that thing up and get your gold nice and clean so you can show it to people. It's going to work so much better when you classify it than if you just take and just throw a pile of dirt in there and hope that your machine that works so good at the gold show is going to work just as good for you, on your table. But classification is key. If without classification, you're going to lose gold. So and I tell people, I've got a 12-step program. If you classify and you remove the magnetics out of your batches, and you use a pan, and there's no water discharge, and everything's the same size, you know what your gold looks like. When you get all that gold out of there, you can actually take that dirt and throw it away instead of keeping it on the back porch, because like you had a blue bowl or miller table, and you thought you saw a piece of gold float by, and you're like, well, I can't throw this dirt away now because I'm going to lose all my gold. So my 12-step program is if you get confident enough to know that you've got all the gold out of this particular batch of dirt that you can actually throw it away, you might be able to get at least 12 steps away from your back door without tripping on a bucket. So that's the 12-step program.
Cool. Let's see, Daryl. Hello, Daryl. Hey, we were talking about you today, Daryl. I talked to Scott today. I guess you're going to go to the Moon Lake thing this year. Panama Prospector. Hello. Okay, so no, I understand, Delbert. Hello, Delbert. I understand, like say in the gold pan, if you don't classify and you've got bigger rocks, it takes more force to get rid of those bigger rocks out of your pan, and by doing that, you're getting rid of the lighter stuff too because it's not classified. So I understand that, and then I guess in a sluice box, those bigger rocks are just going to interfere with everything else because they can't get rid of down there. So I mean,
yeah,
that makes sense.
And create weird water motions.
But yet, for instance, now you don't need to classify this.
Right, and that's because we're controlling the discharge. It's not an automatic discharge. So we can put a lot of stuff in there and rattle it down back and forth, and it's not a huge flow. We're not using eddy. We're using just trapping sections. So we're creating a trap. Now, the banjo pan is not a cleanup sluice. It is not a sluice that is designed to I mean, if you ran water across it and, with a pump and stuff, I mean, there's people that are using it as their cleanup sloughs.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But when you're using it out in the wild, basically you're just going out there and it's allowing you to get out there and test to see if there's any gold. And those two questions again: is there any gold here, and is it any better than the last place I checked? It's going to allow you to get out there and find out the answer to where you're going to be able to set up your piece of equipment on the best gold. And then it also, when we do the production panning, it's not going to be 100% accurate. Nothing is, but it's going to allow you to go through a lot of material, creating concentrates to take back to a machine that is a little more accurate. So it's a great, like a backpacker. You can backpack real well with that thing. And if you got like a bag that you can put some concentrates in, you can put a yard of dirt in like a half of a 5-gallon bucket and take that home instead of a yard of dirt. It's a lot easier to pack out. But the banjo pan is not a cleanup sluice. It's not what you're going to use. Like, I use a round pan when I'm in the kitchen and in the sink. I don't use a banjo pan, and I classify everything because everything I get when I'm at home is the good stuff, and I don't want to lose anything. So I go back to the right piece of equipment for the job, and that's a pan. So out in the wild, though, if you want to go through a lot of material, the banjo pan in production mode, there's videos on the website, goldcube.net, video section. There's going to be a lot of material that you can put across that. Like every 10 or 15 seconds, you can process a shovel load. And then you wash it out into a bucket and you're making your concentrates. So it's almost as fast as you're feeding the sluice box. And you didn't have to carry all that stuff in there. And the fact that all your rocks are, the big rocks are riding to the top and not interfering with the stuff on the bottom anymore, they just rattle out the end. And all your fine stuff is sinking and settling and getting stuck in the mat. So we're not using eddies or vortexes or anything like that in a banjo pan. We're just using a rough surface that the gold gets stuck in. So therefore, the weird water swishing from too big of a rock in your sluice box, none of that comes into play when you're out there with a banjo pan. So it's a great production panner, and it's also, whether wet or dry, and it's also great for just prospecting and seeing where the gold is. So that's you can't really compare it with a sluice box unless you've got a flow of water. I saw a guy. He took like 3 banjo pans and he had them one right after another, just stacked up like a zigzag sluice, and was pouring water in the first one and just creating like a banjo pan gold cube or something. But it was pretty cool.
Yeah. So Delbert says, what if I shovel unclassified material into the trommel on the cube?
Perfect. If it fits, it sits. I never classify anything into the trommel because the trommel's job is to classify. It's to clean it, turn it into a slurry, classify it into the gold cube, and run it. So all the stuff that comes out of the end of the trommel, or everything that comes off the end of the gold banker, I always capture that because there might be a big piece of gold in there. And if there is, let me know where you are. I'll come help you. But I'll take, I always tell people, take a metal detector with you, because all that stuff that's oversized that came off the trommel or the gold banker, you just take a plastic scoop and you got your coil and you just scan it over top of that coil, because everything in there is going to be an easy pickup with a metal detector because it's 1/8 of an inch or bigger. And if you put it across there, no beepy, no keepy, it's metal detector is always going to be a lot lighter than a bucket of rocks. So that's an easy way to be confident that you're not throwing away big gold just because you used a trommel or a gold banker. And you can do that with any machine. There's a lot of people that really need to check their dry wash tailings, the high banker tailings, even dredge tailings, but most of the time dredges will get the big ones.
Yeah, so they got to make their mind up if they're either going for the small stuff or going for the big stuff, depending on their punch plate. And
it's, you got to set it up to complement the gold that you're actually finding when you were prospecting.
So somebody said earlier about the blue bowl compared to the gold cube. I know the blue bowl basically is just black sands, fine stuff. How does the cube work? Say if you've got a lot of black sands working with the gold cube.
It works just fine. In fact, when we're working on the beach with a gold cube, we'll put through 3,000 or 4,000 pounds of black sand before we do a cleanup. So it's designed. It's a 15 degree angle. It will allow that black sand to process through, and we call it the vortex mat because each of those pockets they make a little swirling motion in there. So that swirling motion, that little vortex, acts like quicksand. So the gold sinks down through the black sand, and now when that black sand's at the gold's at the bottom, the black sand's sitting on top. The next piece of gold that goes in, it's got kick out the same size of black sand. So gold in, garbage out. It doesn't matter if it's black sand or brown sand. I mean, it's not racist. It'll kick anything out that's not gold.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Tell me why this happens for. If I took a bunch of, say, rocks and threw them in the water, the bigger boulders are going to go down to the bottom first. But if I take all these big rocks or just shovel dirt into my 5-gallon bucket, by the time I get home, for some reason, all the big rocks have come to the surface. Why is that?
It's the same thing. It's still displacement. It's the finer stuff can fill in the cracks easier, and when it's filling in cracks, it's creating a bigger surface than the rock is. So the rock gets moved to the top. All right, so it's all a question of displacement, so that that finer dirt will allow that the rocks to ride on top. So most of those bigger rocks are not going to be as heavy as what you're bringing home. You got black sand and gold and all this other stuff, and so as it fills up, it's almost like hydraulic pressure. I mean, it settles to the bottom, and now it can't go up. It's like if you fill your bucket full of fine dirt, you can't put any more rocks in it. But if you fill it full of rocks and then fill it full of fine dirt, you can get a lot more fine dirt back in there. Okay, so it's a question of space, and as soon as all that fine dirt starts acting together, it creates no space for that rock, so the rock is moved up.
Okay, so do you think the theory then, with this kind of theory in mind, if everybody would leave the gold alone, don't go out metal detect, just leave that gold alone, let it sit on the ground, in another 1,000 years, all that gold is going to work its way back to the surface, the same way with the bigger rocks seem to work their way to the surface, will the gold work its way to the surface too?
No. And the reason it won't is because of the weight of the specific gravity. The amount of surface that's in a real heavy nugget, it's gonna be able to push harder on that, and it can't get displaced as easy. So that's why it keeps sinking. So it all has to do with the size as well as weight on what's going to win the sink battle. The same thing with like if you're out metal detecting and you got coins and stuff. One of the coins we detected on my son's property was a 1995 dime, and that 1995 dime was like 5 inches underground. So in 30 years, it had sunk through the ground 5 inches, 5 or 6 inches. So, and it has to do with the density of the metal is much more dense than the surrounding material, so it can settle. Lightning, footsteps, anything that creates a rattle can make it settle just a little bit more, and so that happens all the time. So, if you got gold coming to the surface, aha, fooled you.
Well, no, that makes sense because I've gone into parks and metal detected, and I wonder how can a goddamn coin get that far underground? I guess snow compact and everything else is just keep pushing it down and down. I guess it won the weight battle. Now you'll also notice that once in a while you can go on the top of a hill and get a sunbaker, and you're wondering why is the gold at the top of the ground?
It's because all the ground around it has been blown away. So wind made it a sunbreaker.
Right.
Or it could have been water. I mean, it could have been left behind from water, but the ground has to move away from it. The gold can't come up. The ground has to move away from it. So the sunbakers are either water or wind is what is leaving that gold behind to where you can actually see it at the surface.
You know, when I metal detect and you get your signal and then you scrape it away and you've scraped away the signal already. Now it's over in this other pile. And I say, it's just junk. But then in my head goes off. I hear a lot of stories about these goddamn ass sunbakers, you know. So
yeah,
check that. That's stupid. Did we lose Lisa? Lisa's back again.
Here I are.
Yep, she had to go. She had to go take a shot of whiskey.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Lisa had something she was going to read or something, wasn't you?
Something I was going to read. No, I was going to say that we were going to talk about doing a wheel.
Oh yeah, that's what you were going to talk about.
Yeah. So the wheel will be posted tomorrow. 45 spots, $35 a spot, nice prizes. So if anybody is interested, they could call 928-851-7167 or pay with PayPal to Gold Fever Radio at Yahoo. And that's what I needed to say.
I will post pictures tomorrow. I'll do that. Okay.
Cool.
The prizes?
Yeah, the prizes.
Okay. All right.
Billy Z, howdy. I had some car problems. Well, glad you made it in, Billy Z.
Yeah. Well, you guys go ahead because it's getting late here.
Alrighty. Well, take care. Thanks for dropping in.
Okay. Yeah. Bye, Mike.
Bye-bye. Good to see you.
So you've got the gold cube. What all kind of attachments do you have now that goes with this gold cube you can add on?
Well, we talked about the trommel. The trommel will bring everything down to a 6 mesh, which is 3/16 of an inch. The gold banker, it's like a screen deck. It'll bring everything down to a 6 mesh, which is 3/16 of an inch. And then if you don't want to capture the material coming off of both of those units, the oversized large material, we've actually got what we call the nugget zone. It's like its own little high banker that fits on the end of the gold cube, and that will process the pickers and nuggets out of the discharge from the trommel and the gold banker. So those are the main units we have. We've also got some accessory stuff like the picks. We got the big 36-inch pick. Then we've got the Sidewinder, which is a 19-inch handle, steel handle. It's actually a pipe, not just tubing, so you can't bend it. And then we've got the little crevicing pick, and then we've also got the Crevice Master line of bedrock poppers. You know, they've got a bedrock hook, and they've got an ergonomic bedrock hook, and then we've got the spoon and the hook combination. We've got the moss, the mosser for scraping moss or scraping bedrock wherever you are, trying to loosen things up to get all the gold that's settled on top of bedrock. What other stuff we got? You know, we talked about the golden rule classification system. We've got the cleanup classification system, which is 4 screens. That's 16, 30, 50, and 100. And then we've also got the Pro Pack. It's got 16 screens, starting at 4 mesh and ending up at 400 mesh. So for classifying, I mean, it's the ultimate kit. And it doesn't take up a lot of space. It's like a 4x4x6 box, and that's all the bigger that thing is. So it's real good to pack around. Let's see what else we got. Banjo pan. You know, you showed the banjo pan there a minute ago, but yeah. And then we're going to be working on the bucket cube, so that'll be cool.
And that's going to be called Bucket or Lose It.
Yeah, bucket or beep.
uh, Jennifer said, "What? Don't forget the gravel gate. What's the gravel gate?"
Oh, yeah. The gravel gate is an attachment that fits on the gold banker. So there's it's like a hinge that comes down and blocks about half of the gold banker and gives you a place to work without risk of losing the rocks that you're trying to get clean. So it all sprays in that inside the gravel gate, and you're cleaning all that stuff up. And when you got your rocks nice and clean, and now you want them, now they can go away. Then you can just lift up the gravel gate and just get rid of your rocks.
So that high banker that goes on the cube, would that be better to run a lot of black sands over that compared to just adding it directly to the cube?
Yes and no. When you add it to the cube with just black sands, you got to slow down a little bit. Like when I'm working on the beach, I'll put like 1 or 2 shovel loads of black sand on top of the gold banker, and then instead of the gold banker being on an angle, I just flatten it right out, and then it creates like a little flood of water, and then as it goes over that, it goes over the pile of black sand, it acts like a feeder. So you can go get some more black sand, and this thing will be sitting there with a continuous feed into your gold cube. So it really works well on a beach like that. If you're just dealing with concentrates, I mean, you only got a bucket or 2 anyway. You might as well just feed it and keep an eye on what you're doing there. So the trommel, if you got a bunch of black sands, the trommel is really not good for that, because as soon as it hits a trommel, it's on its way through, and you can get a big surge of a lot of material into the gold banker, or I'm sorry, into the trommel that you may not be prepared for. So you may go into a few seconds of overload, and that will just allow your gold to go farther down your system. And it's not that big a deal, but you can avoid it. The trommel is really good for looser sands that are gravels and stuff like that, like in the bottom of a like a gravel pile, or the bottom of a river. Jack, you're in Arizona, you don't know what a river is, but look it up. Yeah. But the gold banker, it's amazing. If you get into an area that's got a bunch of really sticky clay, that gold banker, the trommel will just make like clay turds and poop them out. And most trommels will do the same thing, and our trommel's so small it even does it worse. I mean, it's trommels are not really they don't work good on clay at all. But the gold banker, on the surface of the gold banker, you can actually put a bunch of gravel right on top of that plate and just leave it there. And then you put your clay on top of that, and then you just move it around in that clay, and that the clay and the gravel grind on each other. And as he breaks up the clay, that clay then feeds into the gold cube when it's ready. And then when your rocks are clean, then you're ready for another pile of clay. So you can go through, if you know there's a gold in that clay, you've tested it and you know it's in there. That gold banker will process through clay faster than anything I've ever seen. And like some people will take the clay and they'll mix it up with a paint mixer, and then by the time they get halfway through what they mixed up nice and loose, it's already coagulated back down into a solid brick again. So they got to try to hit it with a paint mixer again. But this with the gold banker and the gravel on the top, I call it gizzard gold, because like a chicken gizzard when with a crop, so it when that material is ready to run, it's on its way through the cube. If there's gold in it, it's pulling the gold, and then the clay is discharged, and the clay milk is discharged, and you're catching gold now. So if you're in a high clay area, yeah, you just gotta have the gold banker, because it's really going to help you through those situations.
I know up at AKU they use the gold bankers on top when they're cleaning stuff up.
One of the most important things for that is it gives you an idea. You can, like, there are always people watching it and everything, and they're picking the bigger pieces of gold off it and all that stuff. But it makes it to where you don't have to pre-classify your concentrates that you've got off the high bankers or the big slick plate. You can just spoon them right onto there, make sure everything's clean, brush it off, test your tailings with a metal detector to make sure you didn't miss any gold. But it makes it really easy for the guests up there.
So Jennifer says, don't forget the tube flanges.
The tub flange.
Tub flanges.
Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, the tub flange is basically the you cut a hole in one tray or tub, and so you got one tub with it's on there, and then the other tub, and you can just put a pipe in between them. So the tub flange is a seal, and it's so thin that you can actually stack your tubs right back on top of each other. When you pull that pipe out, you can put your tubs all back together, and there's nothing to bust off or anything like that when you pack everything up, put it in the truck to go home, or the Yugo, whatever you went out there with.
So people like to use them when they're trying to get like water to settle out from one to the next one. Clean
Right.
Water before it comes
When
back.
I'm in really, really dirty water, I like using 3 tubs. If I'm just working on concentrates, I like using 2 tubs. But the more opportunity you have for gold to settle out, I'm sorry, I said that weird. I just realized that the sun's about gone here, and the only light on me is what's coming off my screen.
You're still looking.
Like, oh.
You're still okay.
But yeah, so the more opportunity you have for the silt to settle out like a settling pond, the cleaner the water in your pump for your system is going to be. So whether you're using a cube or a high banker or whatever you're using with water, if you've got more tubs, you're going to be able to run longer with the water that you brought out there to the party.
Okay, so people say like, if I order a cube, should I order the 3 stack or the 4 stack? I mean, some people, you see some people, but they do 9 stacks. I mean, what's really the ideal stack?
Okay, in almost all situations, you can generally get away with a 3 stack. Okay, and I tell people to watch their bottom tray, and if there's more than 10% of the gold on the bottom tray, then you either need to run shorter amounts of time or add a stack. Okay, and so most people are going to purchase a 4 stack, and then I get people telling me all the time, is like, well, finally I got a piece of gold on that last tray. You know, it's like before it's all in my first tray and almost nothing in the second tray. So isn't that wonderful that you're not losing that gold? But the most people, our most popular one is the 4 stack, and that's because if that bottom one is down there as a safety net, and you're not finding gold in the bottom one, and the ones on top of that are just full of gold, hey, there's a real good chance you didn't miss hardly anything. Like I said, nothing's perfect, but if you're not finding gold on that bottom tray or almost nothing, then you're doing pretty darn good. So 4 stack is our most popular.
Okay, so here's the other thing. So when you're counting the stacks, do you count the slick plate as a stack and then just 3 of the ones with the matting, or is the slick plate counted as one of the stacks?
It's the slick plate and 2 separator trays. So a stack of 3 pieces. It says my battery's low.
We're gonna let you go
there
here. So the slick plate is 1, and then you got the slick plate and 2 carpet areas, and that counts as 3. That's the 3.
Right.
Stacks.
So yeah, that becomes 3. So now I've got a guy in Colorado that's got a 12 stack, and he's got a 12 stack because he's also getting rare earth minerals that fall out at different areas. So he is after the concentrates, and that's where his rare earth minerals are. So there are certain situations that you'll need more stacks, but you know your material, you know what you're after, and it's real obvious in the gold cube. So you can adjust what you're doing easily just by paying attention to what's in the trays, and also knowing your ore that you're going after. So in most cases, a 4-stack you'll never outgrow a 4-stack. Some people on the beach, because the black sands are so heavy and the gold is like 200 mesh, they like to add a stack or two just as a safety net, and also gives them more concentrates to bring home. But again, you adjust the cube, and it's really adjustable that way. You can adjust the cube to your situation that you're going to be using most. But if you're just traveling around, a 4-stack is going to be more than enough to satisfy the needs in just about every situation you can get into.
So if a person orders, say, either one, a 4-stack with the trommel, does it come already prepared, the trommel, with the hookups and the drills and that plate already on that, or do you still have to add all that yourself?
Okay, when you get the gold cube, it comes with a stand and a pump. Okay, when you get the trommel, it sets right on the slick plate. The hole lines up with the hose inlet of the water tray. When you put the fitting in that water tray, that's what holds the trommel in. So there's no drilling, there's no anything. I mean, it's no tools required except on the tub flange. You got to drill holes in your tub.
So, but I meant on the trommel, when you had to put drill holes in to put that bar in there. The bar.
Not anymore.
Okay, that's what I'm wondering. Does it come pre like done where it's all together, or do you have to fabricate to make the trommel work?
There's no fabrication. It's when we first came out with it, you had to do that. We had templates and measurements and drill holes and all this other stuff, and we got away from that. We figured out a way to slide the trommel back just a little bit, and make it to where the fitting is actually what locks it into place. So when you put all that weight on the hopper of the trommel, the fulcrum in the middle, you've got your hopper on one side, and then down at the discharge underneath there it's actually hooked onto the gold cube on that fitting. So that locks it into place. So no matter how much weight you put on the a hopper, like a shovel load or two or whatever, it's not going to unhook anything. So you're locked on there.
So how does that bar hook on that you raise it up, that has the teeth, to raise the?
Right. It's part of the platform that sits on the slick plate. So it's all incorporated right into that mounting bracket. Okay. So there's 2 screws that hold on the trommel onto the mounting bracket, and then the mounting bracket has the bar is attached to that, and then there's like these little teeth that are on the bottom of the trommel that you can adjust your height. So it's all incorporated into that. So there's no holes that are drilled. So it's two small pivot bolts that are supplied in there. You just screw those in and set it on your tray, put the fitting in the end, and you're ready to go.
So same thing you got when you pick up the trommel, it's still attached where you just can't remove it by itself. So you're still picking up the slick plate with the trommel.
If you take the fitting off the end, where the water normally goes in.
Yeah.
If you unscrew that fitting, the trommel will just pick right up off of it.
Okay.
So it's just that one fitting is all it's holding it on there.
Okay, so Billy says, can you turn the trommel around?
Yes.
I mean,
if you want the trommel to point a different direction, you have to change the number of trays that you have. Okay, if you've got a 3-stack, you're going to be feeding from the left, and if you've got a 4-stack, you're going to be feeding from the right, because every time you add a tray, it starts another direction. So if you want it to go a different direction, you can make it discharge the same side as the cube is discharging, or you can make it discharge on the other side just by either taking the tray away or adding another tray.
That makes sense. I think that's what he was getting at, is the discharge of that there. So cool. Okay. All right. It's getting dark.
Hey, tell you what, Jack, I'm going to get off of here, and why don't you give away a banjo pan and give away a cleanup golden rule classifier kit.
Oh, let me make notes of here. Banjo pan, banjo, and a cleanup.
Yeah, a cleanup classifier kit that comes with a 4 screens, 16, 30, 50, and 100.
Cleanup classifier. Okay, we'll do, Mike. All right, Mike, we appreciate you hanging with us. No, he's not giving away Gold Cube. Anyways, okay. We appreciate Mike. Thank you hanging with us. Have safe travels back home, buddy. Appreciate it, Mike.
I should be home about 1 o'clock.
Talk to you in the near future, man. Thanks.
Okay, we'll see you, man. See you, everybody.
Bye, guys. All right. Thanks, Michael. Okay. Hee-haw. We got some stuff to give away. Can you believe that? Ooh, baby. All right. Now I've got to think about, oh, man. My headphones are blinking at me. I better turn these off. I just saw this blinking. Okay. So what am I going to do if I order a 7-stack? Do you throw in a step ladder? That's pretty good. Okay, Mike is gone. So Mike said give away a banjo pan and the cleanup classifier. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to do it this route because I don't have any questions, and we want to make it simple. So what I'm going to do, I wrote down a number. And I'm going to ask everybody to give me a number, and the first one that guesses this number wins the banjo pan. Are you ready? 1 to 100. Go. 1 to 100. First one that gets it right, and I'll try my best to see it because you guys, these numbers will start flying by. Numbers 1 to 100. As soon as I see the correct one, we'll win the banjo pan. And if I miss it, then somebody else can say, hey, they had it earlier and I just missed it. So, all right, Paul got it. There it is right there. You got a winner, Paul. Oh, that's backwards, huh? 56. The number was 56. I saw Paul had that number 56. So Paul had 56. Paul had 56. So that's the first one I saw was Paul. So Paul, PM me or send me your, why did some people call it DM? I thought it was always PM, private message. What's the DM? But anyway, either one, or email me, goldfeverradio@yahoo.com, or send me a private message for your shipping address. We got a winner on the banjo pan. Okay. We got a winner on the banjo pan already. Paul. Congratulations, Paul. Okay. I was first to pick 69. Yeah, I know you were, Jennifer. I didn't say 69. Okay. Now what we're going to do is something a little bit different. Let's see. I'm thinking of something here. Now, hold on a second here. I'm thinking of something. Okay. I wrote down, you guys ever played charades? Okay, he said this was the cleanup classifier kit. That's what this is going to be, for the cleanup classifier kit. And just think of all these people that left the show earlier. Look at that. Some people already left the show. Man, they're going to miss out on this here. So cleanup classifier, you guys played charades. So this is 2 words. And I guess it's a word or something. Don't be sending me messages. What's all this people sending me messages for? Quit it. 2 words. 2 words. I got a word written right here. 2 of them. First one that with the right one, the right saying. Quit it. With the first one. It's not metal detector. First one with this, say what this word is. There's 2 words though. That's a nice one. Gold cube is a nice one, but that's not it. Golden rule is a nice one, but that's not it either. Banjo pan, that's another nice one, but that's not it either. Got shiny. Gerald mentioned that's not it. Mind Lab, that's not it. Gold pen, that's not it. Gold fever, that's a good one. I thought of that one, but I figured somebody would get that one. That's not it. You guys with gold fever, that's a good one there. Gold cube, that's not it. Pro pack, that's not it. I'm sending telepathy. Dump trailer full of rocks. Hey, all right. Dry washer, that's another nice one. That's not it. Mr. Mind Lab, that's not one it. Gold fever, that's another one. That's not it. Mike Pung, that's another nice one. That's not it. Kick rocks, that's another nice one. That's not it. Gold Mountain, that's another nice one, but that's not it. Oh, this is an easy one too. I thought, well, it wasn't that easy. I got to think like you guys, like what you guys would think I would say. Lost Basin, no, that's not it. Jack Tug, no, that's not it. King Tut, no, that's not it. Dry washer, that's not it. I'm gonna have to give you guys a hint here pretty soon, I guess. Pay dirt, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Metal detector, nope, that's not it. Dry washer, Salomax, that's not it. Nope. Lisa, that's not it. Magic mat, that's not it. Spot price, that's not it. I'm going to give you guys a hint here in a moment. Gold nugget, that's not it. That's a nice one. Juan Valdez, that's a really good one, but that's not it. Treasure hunt, another nice one. That's not it. Gold fox, nope, that's not it. Guy Carl, nope. Vortex mat, nope. I could tell you that it has something to do with gold. How's that? Silver dollar, nope, that's not it. Harry Balls, hey, that is so close. Gold nugget, nope, that's not it. Rib matting, nope, that's not it. All right, we got a stumper going on. Banjo pan, nope, that's not it. Gold field, that's not it. Gold price, that's not it. Gold dollar, that's not it. Give us a hint, man. I just did. Something to do with gold. Gold classifier, that's not it. Fuzzy pickles, that's not it. Gold fever, that's not it. Always in a hurry. Gold dust, that's not it. Gold coin, that's not it. Quit sending me those texts. Gold finds, that's not it. Old lady, that's not it. Gold price, that's not it. Gold finds, that's not it. Classifier results, that's not it. If I miss somebody that you guys are going too fast, then if I finally see it and somebody says they did it before, then it's this. Yep, always in a hurry. Always in a hurry. Gold fever, sucked rocks, no. No. Black sands, no. I've given you guys clues. Gold plated, no. Okay, I'm going to give you another clue. Here we go. Gold mine, that's not it. Gold digger, that's not it. It has to do with gold. Always in a hurry. All right, Janon got it. Congratulations, Janon. Gold rush. All right, Janon. Okay, got a winner. Janon got it. All right, congratulations, Janon. Okay, send me your shipping address. Mark got it right after me. Gold dust. All right. Because you guys are in the same thing. But yep, it is Gold Rush. The correct answer was Gold Rush. Janon got Gold Rush first. So congratulations. Paul and Janon. Make sure you guys send me your shipping address one way or another, and I will pass them on to Mike. Shut up, Roland. Be good. So anyways, all right, guys, we're out of here. I guess that's all we got to talk about here. If anybody else wants to talk about anything, like Lisa said earlier, I'm going to post pictures for the wheel. We're going to start the wheel since everybody's been asking for the wheel. So we'll start the wheel tomorrow. 45 spots, $35 a spot. I think there's 25 prizes. There's gold, there's silver, and there's going to be one of them Boss cleanup kits from Dream Mat will be there. I'll post that, but I'll have them ship that directly. Them Boss cleanup kits, or the Boss Buddy, I think they call that, from Dream Mat. But that'll be shipped out, so that'll be one of the prizes. But anyway, I'll post them all tomorrow. But some people like to get a jump start, so you guys are on the show. You guys can always get the jump start, so you can get first in there before it's posted anyway to get the better numbers. So anyways, want to thank all you guys for tuning in, joining us. Been another long, great show, but hey, you know what? That happens sometimes. So let me try to find me an exit video out of here. So you guys all take care. And until our paths cross again, we want to thank you guys hanging. You guys catch you all next week, and take care. Thanks for watching, everybody. See y'all later. Bye.
Jack's got a shovel and a dream in his hands, staking claims neath the hot desert sand, chasing the glimmer of gold in the sun. Every hill climbed, it's a battle, but he's won. With friends beside him, he's never alone. Through valleys and mountains, they've made it their home. Treasure comes in the memories we make, in the laughter and stories our friendships create. Gold might be pretty, but it's nothing compared to the joy in the journey, the love that we share. They ride the ATV through the wide open plains, laughing and shouting, forgetting the pains. The wind on their faces, a taste of pure freedom. In the heart of Arizona, they know they'll beat them. Life's a wild ride, they shout out so bold. Jack says you never slow down, you never grow old. Treasure comes in the memories we make, in the laughter and stories our friendships create. Gold might be pretty, but it's nothing compared to the joy in the journey, the love that we share. Lots of hills round, they shout out so bold. Jack says you never slow down, you never grow old. Treasure comes in the memories we make, in the laughter and stories our friendships create. Gold might be pretty, but it's nothing compared to the joy in the journey, the love that we share. So here's to the gold in the lives that we hold. Jack's got his friends, and that's worth more than gold.